Hello friends, welcome to Talking Piano episode 6. Today I'm going to be interviewing an icon here. But he's not in this room. He's not even in Sri Lanka. He's all the way back in Sydney, Australia, about 9,000 kilometers away. We are not only going to be interviewing him, but also I'm going to be playing the piano for him to sing from Sydney. We'll find out how that goes. This is none other than the very famous, the best entertainer of the 60s and the 70s, Mr. Desmond De Silva. Desmond, welcome to Talking Piano.
Thank you. What a introduction. Thank you so much.
Well, that was the case, Desmond. I mean, you were not only the best entertainer, you were probably the only entertainer at that time. There were lots of good singers at the time, but certainly you were out there. Anyway, we have a lot to talk about because you have been in the field for more than 50 years, I believe. So, but let's talk about your beginnings. Do you come from a musical family?
Yes, I have to say I do. My father's family was very musical, and so was my mom.
They both sang?
Oh yeah, my mother played piano and she had a great voice, and all my uncles and my dad, they could play a multitude of instruments. In fact, my dad could play the saw, the kiyata as we call it.
Right.
The saw with a violin bow.
Oh, wow. Yes, I remember those things.
It was fascinating to watch him play.
There was also a petty bass those days, right?
Oh yeah, that was a skiffle bass, they used to call it.
Right.
My uncle Dudley was an exponent of the skiffle bass. And one T chest, don't forget.
Oh, good. So that means you do come from a musical family. No question about that.
Oh yes, very much so.
I heard this story. Desmond, normally students, they start from outstation schools and they end up coming to Colombo later on. In your case, I heard that you started at St. Peter's College and then end up in Mathura. How did that happen?
Well, actually the word is deported.
Okay.
Deported to Mathura on disciplinary grounds.
Okay.
My mom was finding it difficult to handle me, so she put an SOS to my father's mother, who lived in Mathura, and she, I think for the third time in her life, came to Colombo to take me into custody is the word I'd like to use. Yeah, but that was the time a lot of discipline was instilled into me, and I'm grateful for that.
So you were a naughty boy at the time, just like now?
Not really naughty, but I guess we had our moments. So there you go. I can't elaborate more than that.
Okay. So now
I'll
you were
have to take the Fifth Amendment.
Okay. Desmond, so for how long were you in Mathura?
Oh, from about the 6th standard till GC, so that's about
4 or 5 years.
Five classes, I think, yeah.
Okay. Is that the time that you started your first band, or did you have any band when you were in Mathura?
No, there was no music at that time. I mean, until I left school, I was forbidden to do anything with music by my mother. It was study, as you know, those days you had to be either a doctor or a proctor or a professional basically. So mom was a little bit disappointed when I went in the path of music, but history has shown what it can be and can't be done.
That's true. Well, we all have faced that with our parents when we go to music at a young age.
Yeah, but I think it It was the time, the time of our lives, where things were obviously very different from nowadays. So we had to go according to what the parents said. So there I was, music on hold and studies to the forefront. And that's what, well, in a nutshell, the story of my life.
Lovely, lovely, lovely story. So, I believe your very first band was Fireflies.
Yes, I was lucky enough to join the Fireflies. They had an Milroy De Silva was. We had so many De Silvas in that band. It was unbelievable. Milroy De Silva was the leader. Daryl De Silva was the rhythm guitarist. Then there was Desmond De Silva on drums. Then another Desmond De Silva singing, which was me. And we had only Basil Paiva, who was an outsider who played bass guitar.
Oh, right. Okay. Basil still plays bass in the jazz area.
Yes, I'm sure he does.
Okay, so that's... And where was this? In Colombo?
In Colombo, yeah. Everything was in Colombo, and we were actually playing at Selinco.
Okay.
We had what you call the Sundown Dancers,
All right.
as it was famously known, yeah.
And then how long did you play with Fireflies before you joined Gubbo and the Breakaways?
I think it was for about 3 or 4 years since I started. Then, yeah, about 4 years with Fireflies, and then it was Gubbo and the Breakaways. From there, I joined the Spitfires. From the Spitfires, I had a short stint with the Jetliners. Mm-hmm. And then I found my own band, which was called Desmond and the Clan.
Right, correct. So playing for those bands such as Gubbo and Spitfires and all that, any stories that you can share with us?
Well, I have a pretty good story, which I think I'd like to share it with you and the viewing public. This happened when I was with Desmond and the Clan. With quite a bit of humbleness, I must say, we became very popular, and we used to service most of the dinner dancers of the different, associations and whatever this is. I can't give names, obviously, but there was the chairman of the dance committee who caught me backstage at the Oberoi. When I say backstage, there's a wall behind the bandstand which goes into the corridors of service for the service personnel in the hotel. So we wait there to come out when we are called. In my case, the band was playing, and I just waited for my time to come out. And the chairman of the dance committee comes and tells me, "Can you tell Desmond to get ready, because he has to come on now?" So I said, "Okay, sir, I will tell him." And I couldn't figure it out because I was wearing a black velvet short sleeve a top with gold braiding and mirrors all over the place, and how he could not put two and two together is something of a mystery still to me. But I remember that with a lot of fond memories of me being asked to go and tell me to come out again. So that story it resonates still, I must say.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Any other anything with Spitfires? Did you also you sang with Jetliners as well, right?
Yes, I had a short stint with Jetliner before I started with.
And how did you enjoy Spitfires, Jetliners?
It was a learning curve for me. I mean, it was all these times was learning curves, and I have to mention Mignon where she taught us a lot about harmonies, which is why I appreciate all what you do. I mean, you're obviously a very unique musician from Sri Lanka, and I don't think there's ever going to be anyone like you.
Oh my goodness, Desmond. Thank you very much for that.
And I am very proud to know you, and I admire the skills you have.
Wow. I'm quite honored for what you just said, but thank you very, very much.
Oh, it's the truth and my pleasure.
Thanks. So then you performed with Spitfires, Jetliners, and then you formed your own band, Desmond and the Clan. I remember seeing some concerts that you performed at. It was just crazy because the way you entertained the audience, I mean, there was nobody else. As I said at the beginning, there was nobody else. I mean, there were a lot of good singers at the time, 60s and 70s, but there was nobody who could entertain the way you entertain. And we were just glued to you when you performed. The entire audience. So I was wondering whether you had done any kind of magic or something like that for us to be glued to you. You didn't, right?
I don't know. I was blessed with being able to be an entertainer, and also blessed with a fairly good voice so that I could do both. And I'm grateful that I was given the opportunity to do what you said so eloquently about my career. Thank you very much. I appreciate your comments.
I remember some of the songs that you did, Desmond, at the time. Kung Fu fighting was something that I still remember you performing on stage, and actually you were kicking this way and the other way.
If you remember, that was the first time we got strobe lighting into Sri Lanka.
That's it. With the strobe light, it was like, wow. It was just a wow. I mean, that crazily.
It sort of froze you when you were doing all movements. It was like
exactly.
I was broken up into 7 pieces. It was a really good experience, I must say.
Now let me tell you another story.
That song.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, especially that particular song, because of the kung fu fighting and the quick kicking and trying to imitate that you have been a third black judo dan or whatever.
Right.
and it worked beautifully. It was quite a sensation, I must say, because I couldn't see myself. But the people used to tell me. Absolutely.
So after seeing you doing that song, and I used to do Kung Fu fighting also when I was with the Super Golden Chimes, but I was on the keyboards. I was playing the keyboards and I sang the song. So once Annesley Malavan and Clarence, they all said, look what Desmond did. I mean, he's such a great entertainer. Rukshan, you shouldn't be just on the keyboard playing and singing this song. Why don't you also give it a try? And then next concert, we also had strobe lights, and here myself, I'm trying to imitate you, but didn't go anywhere. It was, I think, only once I probably did that. It was a total failure, and I went back to my keyboards after that, and I continued the way I normally do, and I was called after that Action. I was nicknamed Action after doing that song.
Okay.
So yeah, that's just some information for you. And then I remember also you did Muhammad Ali. I mean, you did Muhammad Ali. You were doing. I mean, while you were singing, you were giving all the boxing action.
Actually, we were fortunate that those songs came out, so we could sort of choreograph it.
You made use of those songs.
Oh yeah.
To do that choreography, and the best part is that the way I look back, Desmond, is that today it's another story. Today we have internet, we have YouTube, we have videos, we have TV to watch and learn. At that time, 60s and 70s, we had none. So you absolutely had none. You had to come up with your own choreography and do your own thing. And that's exactly what you did. And that's what was the wow factor just came in with all these songs that you did and how you presented the song. It's not just singing the song, you presented the song in a particular way that was like, wow.
Thank you. I like the wow.
Yeah, and not only those. Then if you did an Elvis song, it's the same thing. I mean, you did Elvis song with all action of Elvis and the voice of Elvis. I think "Burning Love" is one of the songs that you did.
Yeah. I remember that very clearly. That song got very popular very quickly. And well, we jumped on the wagon.
Right.
That's what it did. And it's one of those. And it was like a very beaty song. It was. How shall I say? It was full of life, really. The song.
Correct. Then, apart from the action songs, you had some hilarious songs as well, and one of them, if I remember right, was "No Balls at All."
Oh, please! Actually, believe it or not, it got so popular, it had to be sung all the time. Right now, no way will I ever sing that song again.
Why not?
I have matured.
But you know that the audience loved listening to that song, right?
Well, actually, the other day I went through the lyrics. It is a funny song, but the subject is a bit of a touchy subject, if I can put it like that. Right now, because of there's so much of political correctness, etc. So I just don't do it any longer.
Okay. Right. Now, all these things, I mean, at the time that we didn't have video cameras and stuff like that. Do you have any videos of you doing these songs back in the 70s? I mean, do you have any videos?
Which song were you referring to?
Let's say Kung Fu Fighting or...
I don't have any. It may be with somebody in Sri Lanka, they may be having it. I know they did have sort of big cameras put on two sides. So there's got to be somebody who would have recorded it and kept it, but I don't have it personally.
That's a pity, because I would have really liked our younger generation to watch what you did back in the 60s and 70s.
Well, if somebody who's listening to this program when it airs, if they have it, they can contact you and let you have the clip so that you could put it later on in one of your shows. As a just a bit of entertainment during the interval, as we would put it.
Yeah,
I hope somebody is. I'm sure somebody must be having it, and if they be good enough to do it, both of us will be grateful, right, Rukshan?
Absolutely.
Let's hope they hear our, shall I say, plea.
Let's hope somebody will have it and somebody will come up with it.
Yeah, great. Let's hope so.
Yeah. So Desmond, you started as what we call the Western singer, singing all English songs. Then you switched also to some Sinhala songs, and boy, you excelled in that tremendously. And at the end, you were called the King of Baila as well. And and the beauty of that is you are able to switch between English and Sinhala so easily. Not only singing, the pronunciation and everything, but even the voice. You tend to change the voice around to suit the song. How did that happen?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know, Rukshan. What you are telling me is it just happened. I have no explanation, except that I was lucky that there was a gentleman called Podimatya who came and said that he wants me to record Chudamanike, and that was the first song which I recorded, and it how shall I say, it took off, as they say in common modern parlance, when a song gets popular. And from there onwards, I cannot, I have to also give credit to all the lyric writers and the music directors who, in a sense, were lining up to do songs for me. So I was blessed that way. Okay, I sang it, yes, but sometimes the lyricists and the music arrangers, they sort of fade into the background, which I found it was a bit disturbing, because if not for them, I wouldn't have become named royalty, etc. So that is something which I try to put right whenever I do a song. Nowadays, when I do live performances, I like to give credit to the lyricists and the music directors, without whom I wouldn't be where I am, and I'm quite passionate about that.
That's true. And doing the Sinhala songs, you catered to a completely different audience, and that's where you were known throughout Sri Lanka.
Yeah, well, yes, that was my fortune, and I'm blessed that way, and I'm also grateful that I could connect with the majority of Sri Lankans because of the capacity and the capability of being able to sing in Sinhalese. It was not only Baila, there were so many other different rhythms which were brought into my repertoire.
Yeah.
So I was very, like I said before, I was very fortunate, Rukshan.
Yeah, true. Now I know there's one song that I remember that you used to do back in the 70s, titled Sumihiri Pane, and again you used to act out the song and like a drunkard and used to do all that. But recently you did this, I think about a year or two ago, and that version has gone all over the place, and it's a hit once again.
Right. Yes. Unfortunately, 3 and 4 year olds are singing Sumihiri Pane. I mean, that was phenomenal. I couldn't believe when I got a clip from somebody in Sri Lanka, sent it to me, where there's this, she can barely pronounce the words. She is singing, and I was really, really impressed what a song can do to a child's mind. And then I have to give the credit to Mr. Mahesh Denipitiya for bringing it on and giving it a new look, really. He has infused almost a blood transfusion.
Right. Absolutely. That came out so well. And
oh, yes. And it is still so popular even at live performances. I mean, the audience sings it with such gusto. I take a break and during the chorus time because they are doing my job for me.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I have seen even other bands doing it at dances and all that, and they get the entire audience to sing the chorus, and it's crazy.
Oh, yes.
It's really crazy.
Great. I mean, we are truly blessed to have songs like that, you know.
Okay, I think it's time to sing Sumihiri Pane now.
Okay. Sumihiri Pane padamata gala heta marunat hitata sapai ada jolly karala. Sumihiri Pane padamata gala හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා නොකා නොබේ ලෝභකමට වස්තු සොයන්නේ මැරුණ දාට කොෆින් එකේ අපි නිදියන්නේ නොකා නොබේ ලෝභකමට වස්තු සොයන්නේ මැරුණ දාට කොෆින් එකේ අපි නිදියන්නේ හොඳට ජොලි කරපන් සුමිහිරි පානේ පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා Sumihiri Pane පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා පංගුව දවස් දිනනවා ටිකක් බිලා වැඩි වෙන දවස් Drink on Sunday, eat on Monday, dance on Saturday, die on any day. Drink on Sunday, eat on Monday, dance on Saturday, die on any day. හොඳට ජොලි කරපන් සුමිහිරි පානේ පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා Sumihiri Pane පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා Sumihiri Pane පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා Sumihiri Pane පදමට ගාලා හෙට මැරුණත් හිතට සැපයි අද ජොලි කරලා හොඳට ජොලි කරපන්
So Desmond, I think you initially went abroad to Maldives. Was that your first country that you went out?
Yes, you are correct. Musically, that was the first place which we went and performed.
And you were young at the time, and the musicians were also even younger. I heard from your musicians that they enjoyed the nude beaches there.
Oh, I was never taken to that island. I absolved myself from that. Apparently, they had the organizers had given them a tour, so I think they did go into one of those no clothes islands.
Aha, so you were a good boy then, huh?
I was, but quite by accident.
Yeah, it must have been fun for Sri Lankans going out and seeing all this. Wow.
I know.
So that was Maldives, and then after that you went to Europe, and there were so many bands went to Europe at the time, and you ended up in Scandinavia for a long time.
Yes, that was Desmond and the Clan again, and no, from before that we went to Nepal, Rukshan.
Nepal, okay.
Kathmandu. That's where this talent scout saw us, and coincidentally, he's Frankie Ferrer. He was married to a Sri Lankan lady,
right?
Adrian Ferdinand's sister. So he offered us a contract to Norway, Denmark, etc., and that's how we went to that part of the world. And we played together for almost 10 years.
Wow. So what was the experience like there?
We were going, I don't know if it was 10, maybe a little less. We were going between the two countries, Denmark and Norway. Norway allowed us to work for 6 months at a time. And then we used to cross over to Denmark for 1 month and then come back to Norway for 6 months.
Oh, I see.
This was the, how shall I say, that was what we had to do so that we could work in that area of Europe.
And at that time, you were not coming to you didn't go to Switzerland, Germany at that time.
No. We did go to Sweden, but that was for it was just once or twice, just 1 month trips. So basically, it was Norway, which was a really good place to work for, because of the hours which we had to work.
Mm-hmm.
Which was by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, everything is shut up for us. So that was good. We didn't have long nights.
Okay.
Whereas Denmark work stops at 3 o'clock. Because they had different opening and closing times.
Right. So now, back in the 70s, we used to play quite a bit for concerts and dances for Golden Chimes, Desmond and the Clan, Gypsies. There were so many bands who were playing around that time. I remember playing at a dance with Desmond and the Clan and Super Golden Chimes, and during a break, you called me, and I don't know whether you remember this story or not. And you called me and asked me to join Desmond and the Clan at that time. And do you remember that story?
Yes, I do. I mean, it goes without saying, with such an abundance of talent which you have, it was just it was just a matter of time for me to wait to ask you the question, because we also had quite a lot of multi-talented musicians with me at that time.
Yes.
Chuti, for instance.
Chuti was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, he could play 3 or 4 instruments. So it was, and it was an. At that time, I looked at it, the variety of it. It was more of an entertaining factor as well. To have one person suddenly switch from saxophone to keyboards to guitar, etc. So it was how shall we used to call it, a no-win situation. You had to have a person like that.
True.
I was really grateful that actually Chuti left me for a short while, Chuti Padma Peruma, and then when he heard about the fact that we were going to go to Scandinavia, he asked to join again. I of course grabbed him with both hands, because he was an asset.
Definitely, I remember him very well.
Yeah, he still is. I mean, he's the only person I know in Sri Lanka who plays the pan flute. And we have worked together and used the pan flute as a real. It's very talent. You need a lot of talent to play that particular type of instrument.
True. So yeah, you had very good musicians at the time, and
oh yes, of course. All the others mentioned. I mean, people like Tony Fernando, bass guitar, vocals. Kirti is a phenomenal artist by himself.
He's an entertainer by himself right now. He has, I think, learned so much from you, Desmond.
Well, he keeps telling me that, but I said you must have the roots for the tree to grow.
Certainly, he has that talent for sure.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud to see him as he is now.
Yeah.
Very, very talented.
Amazing.
I know, and so like you said, that you mentioned, there was also Susanta Perera, who was very good on keyboards, and we had 5 feet no inches of drumming dynamite.
Yes.
The late Mr. Harris Jurampati.
That's what you used to introduce him as.
Yes, that's right. So I mean, it was. I loved the way I introduced him because it was true. He was 5 feet no inches.
Yeah.
And from where I got the drumming dynamite, I don't know, and he was one of our best drummers at that time, I must say.
And sings well too.
Oh yes, my goodness. He used to cry a song, not sing a song.
Yeah, that's true.
He has so much of passion in his singing.
Yeah.
That was also another plus factor for him.
Yes.
And for us as a band. Yes.
And I remember he's a nice guy too, very very nice person. And we went to perform in Denmark a couple of years ago, and met him there as well. Him and his
Oh,
wife.
really?
Yeah. So that was.
Yeah, he married in Denmark.
Yeah. So now Desmond and the Clan was your last band, and then which year did you disband, and what happened afterwards?
I can't remember exactly which year, but
80s or 90s?
I think 80s.
80s, okay.
And and then I went to do, as I'm doing now, I do a solo performance, which has turned out to be less stressful. When I say stress, not that the band was a stress, it's just the responsibility of looking after 4 other musicians.
Yeah.
Make sure that everything goes well. And then in my case now, as a solo artist, I only had to worry about myself and what I have to do. So it has turned out to be a good career move for me in a way.
Yeah, true.
Though I miss regular backing like what we used to have. Purely, then it's a case of me not traveling with the band means rehearsals with whoever the musicians are on the other side where we are performing.
Right. So I think you definitely did the right thing to go solo.
Solo, yeah, I think so too. And it was at the correct time, Rukshan.
Right. Correct.
I mean, we needed the band for our own development.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
true.
Not only me, it developed the rest of the musicians in the band as well, in Desmond and the Clan.
Yeah, true.
They have gone on to do really well for themselves.
Right. So Desmond, let's do another song now, and this is
Okay.
also another one of your famous songs that still heard even other bands doing here, which is Yanna Ratavate. And I think as we discuss, we will do something. We'll do a bit of a surprise at the end, right? And see how it goes.
යන්න රටවටේ එන්න මා ප්‍රියේ ලක්ෂණ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ සීගිරියේ කැටපත් පවුරේ තුන් සිංහලේ කන්ද උඩ රටයි පහත දුම්බරයි වටේම මුතු බර මුහුදයි මල් වයසේ සඳ පාන වගේ අනුරාපුරේ යන්න රටවටේ එන්න මා ප්‍රියේ ලක්ෂණ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ සීගිරියේ කැටපත් පවුරේ තුන් සිංහලේ කන්න උඩ රටයි පහත දුම්බරයි වටේම මුතු බර මුහුදයි මල් වයසේ සඳ පාන වගේ අනුරාපුරේ ලා 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 නුවර වැවේ වැවරවුමේ ලා 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 තුන් සිංහලේ ලා 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 කලාවැවේ හඳ පානේ ලා 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 තුන් සිංහලේ ගමයි පන්සලයි වැපයි දාගැබයි සිංහල පොළව මගේ මේ ලක්ෂණ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ මේ රන් දිවයිනේ දේව දේව මන්දිරේ කදිර කෝවිලේ කන්ටානද පැතිරෙන්නේ ලක්ෂණ ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ මේ රන් දිවයිනේ La 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 නුවර වැවේ වැවරවුමේ La 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 තුන් සිංහලේ La 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 කලා වැවේ අඳ පානේ La 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 තුන් සිංහලේ
When the night has come and the land is dark, where the moon is the only light we see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. You stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever we're in trouble, would you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Whenever we're in trouble, would you stand by me? No, 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 stand by me. Stand up. Stand by me. Stand by me. La 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 la. La 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 la. Yeah, 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 yeah. La 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 la. La 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 la. Whenever we're in trouble, would you stand? La la la. Stand by me. La 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 la. Well, Desmond, we managed to synchronize the two songs with
I know,
being 7,000 kilometers away.
Sheer genius. That's why I keep telling you and you don't believe me.
All right. Well. At least we managed. We managed. Okay. So now you have performed and you have gone around the world. Now you're in Sydney, and I believe you have a new band in Sydney as well, and you're performing in Australia.
Yes, we have a band together in Sydney. All Sri Lankans. Actually, there was one person who no longer with the band. He was Scottish, believe it or not, and he could eat curry like it. He was born to eat it. So I do have the rest of the musicians are all Sri Lankans who live and work here in Sydney, and we are not a very busy band because everyone is actually, we do it on a part-time basis, most of the musicians. And we have proved that we could handle an audience pretty well. And well, I must say that we have been accepted by the Sri Lankan audience in Australia, and we have also traveled to New Zealand and to Jakarta. So we have done a bit of travel as a band.
Lovely. And I know COVID is the pandemic is pretty bad in Sri Lanka now, but I think Australia is somewhat under control, and you are able to perform as well. Correct?
Yes, actually, we could. It started off last Saturday, in fact, which was the 1st of May, That was the first performance after almost a year and several months. And now it has opened up several events in Melbourne, in Adelaide, in Canberra. So we are grateful that the work has started for us, because we were stuck without any work, naturally, because of the particular reasons, as we all know. And we are grateful that it has started, but no international travel yet. But at least we can go interstate and entertain the different audiences from the different states which I mentioned.
Now, once the COVID is over, hopefully soon, hopefully, and do you have any plans to do any other tours?
Oh yes, I mean, there have been, the inquiries will come, but at the moment nobody needs to inquire because they know there is no travel. We can't go out.
Right. So Desmond, what, as a senior musician, singer and entertainer, what kind of advice would you like to give the younger musicians, especially the singers and entertainers?
Well, if you can do, well, first of all, you need to be dedicated to do what you need to do, and you have a goal.
Sure.
You have a goal, and that entails a lot of practice. You need to be serious about what you want to do, and if you want to continue as a musician or an artist, you have to have that passion to be able to go for it day after day. If you have to rehearse, then that is the only way. There is no other way. There are no, let me put it like this, there are no shortcuts.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So people, as I'm sure you and I both know, it was to get to where we got to, or where we are now. And it's still, and I'm sure you still do time for rehearsals when you need to do something. It's not sort of, oh, I can do it, I don't need rehearsals. I think that attitude will be the downfall of any musician.
Right. Correct.
It's a matter of being dedicated, and also practice makes perfect. I think that sums it up.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Thank you for that advice, Desmond. And thank you very, very much for joining me for my Talking Piano program. That was really an honor. And I'm sure everybody enjoyed this. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and it's been a pleasure being in your company. Thank you very much indeed, and all the best to you.
So I hope all of you enjoyed the interview with Desmond. All the way from Sydney, 7,000 kilometers away. We talked, we sang, we played, we did all that. Hope you enjoyed that. And we will see you next month at Talking Piano.